Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to my patch 9.23 patch note. This is the patch note of preseason, so buckle in, this is going to be a long video. Because yeah, this is all the changes of preseason 10. So the new dragons, the alcoves, all the new items, the removal of items, the top lane stuff that I've already heard some stuff about. So we're going to be going over all of it. Whether I go all of it, you know, in proper detail, I'm not 100%. We'll go over everything like I think that's important. Again, TFT, different patch notes. We don't cover them on my channels. First up, new skins. We've got Pulsefire Thresh with his Prestige Edition and Victorious Aatrox. I've already had people say in Twitch chat, when are we getting that? You'll be getting Victorious Aatrox over the next couple of weeks. And again, if you don't know how it works, if you got gold and above in well, I actually think 3v3 wasn't included. So on Summoner's Rift or Flex Queue, if you got gold or above, you get given this skin. If you don't own Aatrox, you're given the champion, the skin, and then however many chromas that you earned, depending how many different queues you got on gold. Worth also mentioning, like I just said, 3v3 mode, Twisted Tree Line has been deleted. It is no longer in the game. So if you are somebody that played a lot of that mode, my condolences. But yeah, not many people played it, even when Riot like kind of did stuff with it. So Riot just kind of gave up with it, and eventually it led to them not paying attention. So there is the skin. Right, so we have the new big feature of, I guess, the map. Elemental Rifts. So both League of Legends and TFT, sorry, is going through Elemental kind of update. So I've always thought this would be a good idea. They've got the dragons of different elements, and what they're doing, again, is they're making the elements more apparent in the game itself. We've covered this, you know, partially, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it, so I don't need to go over everything, but the whatever you want to say, like the way that we have to word it is that there's different maps depending what third dragon is in the game. So the Infernal one burns away bushes and actually some of the rocks, so it opens up areas more, opens up the dragon pit more. Mountain actually adds different walls, wall at the front of the dragon, walls in the jungle itself. Only in 5 areas though, by the way. The two blue buffs, 2 red buffs, and the dragon pit. That is the only places that are actually getting changed on each map. Ocean Dragon, this one arguably is a bit more changey because it's like, yes, it's localized in those areas, but the bush areas are big because obviously ocean makes growth, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of bushes, you know, there's now a bush in the dragon pit. There's a bush outside the dragon pit. There's a double bush near the red buffs. So there's a lot going on with ocean. Cloud seems to be the kind of meh one to me, that it's just a bit of a movement speed when you're in these areas. So that's kind of whatever, but I think we all predicted that was probably going to be the lamest one. So how it works, just to mention, if you're completely unaware, so the map will change depending what the third dragon is. So if your dragon goes mountain, ocean, infernal, the map will change to Infernal. Yeah, Cloud does give something more important. We'll get onto that in a second. It's just I was talking about the map itself. I am streaming, so we are getting a bit of feedback. But it's the third dragon that makes the map change. Furthermore, whatever your first dragon is, or whatever your second dragon is, cannot be the third dragon. So if you're playing the game, and again, it's Ocean first, it's Infernal second, you 100% know that the map is not going to be either of those dragons, and that also means the dragon soul for the game, which we'll get on in a second, cannot be one of those dragons either. So that's one side to the mechanic of the dragons, is the map will change depending what the third dragon is, and the first 3 dragons cannot be the same. So your first dragon is not going to be the same as the second, and the second dragon is not going to be the same as the third, and the third cannot be the same as the first. Furthermore, when you've got to the third dragon, whatever that dragon is, that is going to be the rest of the dragons for the rest of the game until Elder Dragon. So again, if the third dragon is Infernal, the next one will be Infernal, the next one will be Infernal, and so on and so forth until Elder Dragon spawns, which I think is still at 35 minutes. Now, the way so that's the main change for the map. If we keep on to the map thing, I guess, firstly, we're also now getting these side lane alcoves. So in top lane and bot lane, we are now getting a little extended area of the Summoner's Rift map. I have had people say to me, this seems pointless. What I'd say to it is I don't actually think it's a negative. I don't really think it's a positive completely, but what I would say, it's nothing bad because all it can do is increase gameplay. So that's the way that I think is the best way to think of it. Yeah, like most games, I don't think they're going to get used, and maybe like, you know, in higher rating they might, maybe, but I don't think they're going to get used that much, but the option is there. So if you don't use them, you're not missing out on anything. There's no buff down there. There's nothing like a health pack that you can pick up, which I think is good. I think that would be a bit too gimmicky, but all it can do is offer increased gameplay, like a jungler hiding there, or a, you know, a really good outplay that a top laner is getting 2v1'd and they use the outcove to escape. All it can do is increase gameplay, so it's not a negative, it's only a positive, if anything. But overall, I think it's fine. I'm in this, I'm this upcoming season kind of expecting myself to not play top lane much anymore, especially that we'll get on to what I've seen already on Twitter from top lane people that I actually respect. So I don't think I'll be using the outcoves much because I'll mainly be playing mid and jungle most likely. But they're there. So there are now also new things, like they've put in some new bushes here or there. So now permanently there is a bush over here and over here. Again, just adding more areas for junglers to hide, plays to happen, which I think is all good. Half Black Wolf Demon, thank you very much for 9 months. We just had a Twitch baby indeed. Thank you so much. All right, so that's all the map changes, all of them. So you've got the new dragons that affect the map. You've got the side lane alcoves, and you've got the river entrance bushes. Again, Riot's really trying to say they're brushes. They're bushes. Like, let's go. Come on. So overall, what do I think of these? I think it's all positive. So far, the map changes, I think, are on point. It's always nice that, like, the core fundamental of Summoner's Rift is pretty much identical, but just little updates to make the game feel different, and I think is very, very good. Again, these are good in general, but for speaking as someone that's played the game for 10 years, just the idea that the Summoner's Rift map will look different most games. That, oh, this is the Infernal one, so there's all fiery elements. This is the Wind one, so it's all windy and that. I think that's going to really help with just kind of making the game feel fresh. Even though it's kind of the same, it also feels fresh in the same way. So I'm really happy with that. So all the map changes, thumbs up from Huzzy. Next up, we can now speak about what we were kind of hinting at earlier. The other half to the dragon changes are now there is what is called a Dragon Soul. So a Dragon Soul is a buff, a permanent buff that only one team can get, depending on which team gets 4 dragons first, I think. So Dragon Souls are a new endgame payoff for the team who wins the Elemental Drake game, a powerful reward that's similar to an epic objective, like a Baron, etc. Dragon Souls don't offer the same moment-to-moment strength as a Baron or Elder, but they're permanent and an additional on-the-top bonus, basically. So again, the first team to slay 4 Elemental Drakes gain a Dragon Soul. So that, you know, you can be the team that got 3 dragons first, and then you lose, and then the enemy team gets the next 4, and they will get the dragon souls. Whoever gets to the 4 dragons first. And again, just to remind everybody, not the 4th dragon. Like, the enemy team kills 3, you get the 4th one, you get the dragon soul. No, whichever team kills and gets the buff basically from 4 dragons. So every single Dragon Soul is different. So the Infernal Dragon Soul, and by the way, I'll already say I'm going into these with a mixed feeling, especially, well, actually, I'll wait for my especially one. But the Dragon Souls I think are okay for the individual dragons. Infernal, they just seem a little bit gimmicky to me. So every 3 seconds, your next damaging attack or ability on an enemy unit triggers a small explosion. Frowning Pigeon, thank you very much, dude, for 3 months. So basically, if whichever team gets the Infernal Soul, if that is the soul this game, and by the way, the soul that you get is whatever the map is. So the 3rd dragon, whatever the 3rd dragon was, that will also determine which soul the map is. So a small AoE explosion every 3 seconds for all of your teammates, by the way, permanently for the rest of the game. That doesn't go away. That's if your team gets the Infernal Dragon Soul, you're getting a AoE on all your abilities with actually not terrible scaling for the rest of the game. Mountain, after not taking damage for 5 seconds, you gain a shield. And again, by scaling and that's a pretty decent shield. In late game, even with like kind of bad scaling, that's probably going to be a minimum 400 roughly shield. So that's nothing to, you know, snoot your nose at. That's pretty good. Ocean is a mini Warmogs, but only, if I'm not mistaken, after you've hurt something, after you've done combat, you then regen. And it does work off monsters and minions, but with 30% effectiveness. So, you know, not as good, but it still works. So basically, everyone on your team has a mini Warmogs after you've done some damage. And by the way, that counts in combat. So you can be in a team fight attacking and you will be regenning from this. And again, it's not insane amounts of regen, but it could be the difference of like before, if you really were close to kill somebody, now you can because you might have regened. So yeah, Speng's a pleb. Next up, the Cloud one. So this is where I actually think that the Cloud gets quite a bit better. You know, the map itself to me is a bit of a letdown. Just a little movement speed when you're going in those areas. But if it's the Cloud Soul, you just get 10% movement speed all the time, which is actually pretty damn good. And this is the more important thing for a lot of champions in League. After casting your ultimate, gain an additional 30% movement speed for 3 seconds. So think how quick some champions are going to be after their ultimate cast. Oh wait, have I missed? Maybe it's not as bad. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. I did actually think that the Cloud Dragon actually gave you ultimate cooldown. Maybe it doesn't anymore. Maybe they changed it? Because I thought it was giving you ultimate cooldown reduction, but apparently not. It's movement speed now, which, by the way, is still pretty good. But yeah, but there we go. Unless it's in this area. There is so much going on at the moment, by the way. So that's all the souls. Overall, I think they're fine. I do feel they're on the slight gimmicky side, but to remind everybody how the game is kind of going, because I have had some people confused about it. Whoever gets the Dragon Soul, like, you know, you've killed 4 dragons, you've got the Dragon Soul of the map. In Riot's eyes, they want you to win the game. Like, you got the 4th dragon, you got the soul of the map, go end the game. Like, that's the point. The team that gets the Dragon Soul is supposed to win the game. It's supposed to give you that advantage that you're doing well, now go win. So just to kind of let people know, it's intended that they're quite strong. So here are the actual... Okay, here we go. So yeah, it does give cooldown reduction. So after killing a dragon, by the way, you still are you're getting individual buffs for killing those dragons. So Infernal Dragon has been slightly nerfed. So the individual dragons, by the way, have been nerfed because of like the soul potential down the line. So before it used to be a 10% buff straight away for an Infernal. It's now only 5 up to 20% where it used to be 24. So that has been overall nerfed, but there is now 4 stacks, not 3. But overall has been nerfed slightly. Mountain used to be true damage to epic monsters and towers. Is now being completely changed. Your buff of getting Mountain Dragon is now percentage armor and magic resist. So 32% bonus armor and magic resist. Imagine that on a full tank. Imagine that on an Ornn or something like that. That thing ain't dying. Like that's crazy. Ocean Dragon. So this is a missing health regen per 5 seconds, can go up to 20%, so that's actually pretty good. And then Cloud, this is where I think it is. Okay, there you go, yeah. So pretty good, this one. So this is where they do make up for Cloud being kind of weak. Is the Cloud Dragon buff itself is a ultimate cooldown reduction, and it ignores CDR cap, starting at 10% bonus, and then up to 40. So 40% bonus cooldown reduction for your ultimate. That's pretty good. And obviously, depends what champion you play. If you're an Udyr player right now, you're probably like, that doesn't do anything for me. But obviously, that's just the champion Udyr is. He's not an ultimate champion. But something like a Karthus, you're getting 40% cooldown reduction on Karthus with his normal build. And then if you get 4 Cloud Dragons, you're getting an extra 40% cooldown reduction on your ultimate. So I don't know if that would roughly work out, like 40 plus 40, 80% ultimate cooldown. Like, that sounds ridiculous if that's true. I'm not sure if it will like scale that well, but like, let's just say Karthus ultimate will be on a lot lower cooldown if you get 40% cooldown reduction from your build, and then you also get the individual ultimate CDR as well. That would be crazy, but yeah. Someone just saying here, everyone will just rush for dragons. Yeah, like the whole game is now going to be around dragons, which we will talk about in a second, but yes. Speng's a pleb. Next up is Element Drake mechanics. So we mentioned here earlier, like some of the things like we don't need to go over all the time, but the first 3 dragons are now always unique, and the third one is going to be the one that, you know, triggers the map change, so we don't need to go over that. Right, Elder Dragon. So this is the one, personally, I feel isn't great. And I'm going to be honest with that. We're going to be playing today. I'm sure we'll probably have it in one of the games, maybe. I'm not a big fan of this, and I know a lot of people aren't. This, to me, is way too gimmicky. So, like, you know, I said the Dragon Souls, to me, feel a little bit gimmicky. Yeah, this feels way too gimmicky. So if you're, you know, if you don't know what it is, basically, when the Elder Dragon spawns, it's supposed to be a buff that legit ends the game. Like, you know, I said earlier, oh, whichever team gets the Dragon Soul, you know, Riot's kind of saying, yeah, you guys go win the game. Well, the Elder Dragon is supposed to be legit. Like, how the hell didn't you end the game? Go end it right now. Like, that's what it's supposed to be. So if you don't know what it is, it's an execute for everybody on your team. So damaging an enemy at less than 20% health. So again, a 20% execute causes them to die in an Elder immolation after 0.5 seconds. So, again, just to put that in perspective, if a Soraka gets the Elder Dragon buff, she can go up to a tank that has, you know, 20% health. For even a tank is going to be maybe, you know, for some of these tanks, like crazy ones like Cho'Gath, he's still going to have over 1,000 health, let's say, with ridiculous resistances. Speng's a pleb. Ridiculous resistances, over 1,000 health. And a Soraka just has to auto-attack it, and that Cho'Gath's dead. That's why, to me, it doesn't feel great. You know? That just doesn't sound very good to me. So this is where I feel it's a bit too gimmicky. You're giving a 20% execute to everybody, including the support that's obviously not meant to do any damage. Just little one auto-attack, dink. Dead. The tank's dead. So this is where I'm a bit like, I don't know if this is going to make it into the game. I'm actually hoping it doesn't. And again, just to remind everybody, how long does it last? So buff duration is, it's lost on death, still lost on death, but it lasts 180 seconds. That's a really long time. So like I said, whoever gets the Elder Dragon, the point is, go end the game right now. Like that is the point. And you know, some people, why is it like they're making the game legit end when the Elder Dragon? I'm presuming Riot has some type of data, and they've done research of like game length of when people kind of lose interest in the games, and it's probably around the 35 to 40 minute mark. Like, people don't want really long games of solo queue, so at 35 minutes, if it is still 35 minutes, which I think it is, they legit are going, right, whoever got it can go end the game now, full stop. I think that's probably why they've got some data that they're probably just kind of thinking, you know, let's end the game, blah, blah, blah. And it hit, by the way, the earliest the Elder Dragon... Okay, so there is a bit of a change. The earliest the Elder Dragon can spawn is at 26 minutes in the game, I guess. In a complete stomp, the earliest Elder can spawn at 26 minutes. The reason why is, remember how the dragons work? Whichever team gets the Dragon Soul, the next dragon after that, I believe, will be Elder. So if one team gets every single dragon, literally the dragon's first dragon spawns at 5 minutes. If they kill that dragon straight away, the next dragon I think is 5 minutes after that. They kill it basically perfect timing. 26 minutes. So yeah, I think it would be kill it at 5 minutes, kill it at 10 minutes, kill it at 15, kill it at 20, and then it takes 6 minutes for it to spawn. That's 26 minutes. So it actually can now spawn nearly 10 minutes earlier than it used to in an absolute complete stomp. So there you go. Like, yeah, to be fair, if a team is getting Elder Dragon at 26 minutes, they definitely do deserve to win. But this is where I've also always said, or, you know, have been saying, if you are somebody that plays late game champions, this meta and dragons might not be good for you, especially junglers. So you can see how snowbally the game may become of whichever team gets the dragons. And if you're playing, you know, let's say a Karthus jungle that has no early game aggression level, can't fight in the jungle early, can't contest dragons really, yeah, you're going to get your team behind, and dragons are very important, and if you get so behind that the enemy team gets Elder Dragon, the game's over. So that's worth noting. So early game champions might be a much bigger thing now, and especially in the jungle too. So yeah. The Baron buff, by the way, is now gone down on cooldown by 30 seconds. For those asking why, they're staying here. They're standardizing the time between both of the buffs to make them kind of feel equal in power. Let's be honest, the Dragon one is probably better than Baron even now. So here are the buff visuals to know which buff you have. So that's blue, that's red, I believe. And then it's a bit confusing. So one of them is Baron, one of them is... there's a Dragon Soul in there. So your character glows differently now, depending what you've got. But yeah, that's blue buff, that's red buff. So they're a bit different. They're not floating literally around you. They're floating on the ground, which I guess is better for, like, visual. It's not as confusing, maybe? I don't know. But, you know, we'll get used to it over the next couple of days. So there you go. So, oh, here we go. Row 1 is blue buff, red buff, and the red buff burn. So that's what you look like if you've been attacked by a red buff. Then the bottom row, that's Elder Dragon. Hand of Baron, so that's Baron buff. And then that's all of the buffs combined. Got damn Goku over here. But there we go. So, you know, it looks a bit fresh, looks a bit nice. Top lane influence. So I've already heard a couple things, and I will just say, you know, this before we get into it. I have heard top lane already is really poop. Like, poop. You know, I trust a few people. Wicked, you know, I trust, and he has already been on Twitter going, what the hell's happened to top lane? Which I did predict straight away. I was like, there is no way top lane is going to be anything this season if these changes happened, and they did. So, like, Riot came out and going, hey, we've got 2 Rift Heralds, top lane, woo! Yeah, the Rift Herald isn't even very strong right now. Like, the Rift Herald will basically not even take half of a tower off, more or less. Like, it's nothing when plates are on the tower. So, the Rift Herald is kind of pointless overall to have 2 of them. And plus, like, for a top laner to leave to go do Rift Herald, they're going to have to, 1, risk a lot to do that, because it takes a while to kill. And yeah, the Rift Herald is weaker to kill, but it takes a while to kill it still by yourself. And secondly, you're missing so much farm if you're doing that for a risk. In high rating, no top laner is going to go leave 4 waves of farm to go risk taking a Rift Herald. It's just not worth it. Like, the gold that you'll get from maybe killing a couple tower plates with Rift Herald isn't worth leaving the lane for the farm. It just isn't worth it. So it's kind of pointless. And furthermore, if people say, oh, but the jungler can go help. Junglers ain't going top lane at all. Like, there is no point for a jungler to go top lane. Why? Because the dragons are so important. Like, the dragons are so important. Then why would a jungler be top lane? Like, you're literally basically inting your game if you go top lane as a jungler nowadays. So, yeah. So I have heard this, by the way, that, like, it just doesn't feel good. So the Rift Heralds and whatever, it's just kind of meh. You can obviously get 2 of them now. That's the big thing. So if you randomly did get one at 6 minutes, you can then kill another one before Baron spawns, which again, whatever. They are trying to buff up solo XP. And again, this does work for both mid and top, I believe. So your melee minions are giving you more XP, the caster minions are giving you slightly more, and the cannon minion is giving you 1 more. Shared XP also has gone down, so in bot lane, in theory, bot lane should be behind a top laner in XP. The innate problem with that, and like what already I've been seeing and experienced on the PvE, it doesn't really work out that way because of how much fighting happens in bot lane. So yeah, you're getting less XP for killing minions in bot lane, but you're fighting a lot more kills are happening more, so whichever lane is getting ahead in bot lane is actually getting a lot of XP from killing the enemy team. So it kind of balances out anyway. So I guess this is an advantage to solo laners if no kills happen in bot lane, but that's very unlikely because the meta is still bot lane and probably even more bot lane now. So there you go. Turret plating, it's now going... slightly buffing turret plating durability to prevent group and push blowouts in the early game, especially with the Rift Herald. So they're stopping snowballing occurring as a team. So turrets are actually now harder to get, thus also making the Rift Herald even more useless. So, yep. Doran Shield melee regen increased, ranged regen decreased. So this is to stop ranged users taking Doran Shield. So some AP tanks play it. Some AP bruisers kind of take it, Rumble or whatever. But I guess he's melee. But even AD carries have even started to take this to be a bit safe. Like a Vayne or something would take a Doran Shield. They're now trying to stop that, which I think is fair enough. So there we go. That is top lane. Overall, it does look in a pretty rough spot. When we actually get into, and remember, we're what, half an hour in, maybe 25 minutes into this video, we've got more to go. There has been a change to a certain rune that top laners loved, and also a certain item that a lot of top laners loved have been kind of butchered as well. So top lane is in a very rough spot right now, which I think was the opposite of what Riot wanted to do, but they mucked it up, or like they just kind of prioritized the dragons way too much again, which they, yep. So, jungling. We're incentivizing junglers to prioritize farming rather than just fitting camps in between ganks. So, the funny thing is, I'm getting back into the jungle. But the funny thing is, last season, was it? They actually purposely made that the way that you had to jungle. They purposely was like, oh, we want you to gank and then fit stuff in between, like farm in between the ganks. They literally did that, and now they're reverting it again. Whatever. So we're reducing the gold and experience a full clear grant so they don't take over games. So they are basically saying, we want you to farm more than junglers have been, but we don't want stuff like Master Yi to just be farming and he doesn't do a single gank until 20 minutes. So they're kind of trying to balance it a bit, but farming is definitely going to be bigger than it was. Furthermore, the first camp bonus XP has gone up, so jungle item no longer grants additional XP on monster kills if you're behind in levels. So, like we've been mentioning the whole way through, snowballing, dragon snowball, well now jungle snowball, because as a jungler, if you get behind, you do not now have a catch-up mechanic in your item. So yeah. Nutsy81, welcome dude. But yeah, you don't have a catch-up mechanic, which before you did, which I know a lot of junglers probably didn't realise. But yeah, you had bonus XP if you got behind your enemy. You now no longer have that, so you'll get further and further and further behind. Camp timers are going down, so small camps are now respawning 30 seconds quicker. There is also now an icon that you'll see, which I think is... I hate that there's all timers and everything. I know I'm a grumpy old man, but I preferred it when a jungler had to know himself when a camp was coming up and had to time it, because it just got rid of like the laziness of the jungle, but whatever. So there's icons now. The Krug's XP has gone down. The gold has gone down. So they are nerfing quite a lot of stuff. The wolves have gone down. Gold's gone down. Gromp's XP is up. Oh, no, that's health, sorry, never mind. Gromp, yeah, XP, though, has gone up, so I think this is because a lot of people were ignoring the Gromp for so long, so you're going to have to put Gromp in your clear to get full, you know, maximum XP, and someone's saying, what I'm saying is better jungler wins. 100% it will be more that now, yes, because the dragon priorities, better smite, you know, smite still will mean more now than it ever used to for dragons. Bot lane is always going to be the priority lane. Now there's XP differences, so whichever jungler's ahead doesn't have, the one that's behind can't catch back up. So yeah, no, jungling is going to be insane this season. So there we go. That's everything jungle. Jungle seems to be very strong. Yes, they are nerfing it. You're going to have to farm more. You're going to have to include Gromp, but you know, it's going to be the most important role, which it has been for the last couple of years, but still. Lethality. Through the item system currently has 3 lethality options. AD assassins overwhelmingly favour Duskblade and Yumu's and typically skip Edge of Night. Indeed they do. This leads to a lot of the sameness in terms of how one feels the game. Again, so whenever a company like Riot, and it's any video game company really, and they go like, we're going to change how samey things are, and we're going to make like, there's options, companies like saying that, you're going to, as a player, have options with your runes, with your masteries, blah, blah, blah. You never do. There's always an optimal thing to go, so even though they're going to try and do some of this stuff, there'll still be a priority in lethality, I can basically guarantee it. There's always like a best path to go, and that's what happens. Drakthar though, AD increased and blackout removed, so the cost is unchanged. They're giving 5 more AD, the lethality is unchanged, the cooldown's unchanged. They are now removing though, no longer disables wards, so they've got rid of the ward thing, which is whatever. Yumu's, so they're keeping that too. Yumu's, they are adding Yumu's active now allows the user to ignore unit collision for a duration. That's actually pretty good. So as a normal champion that builds this item, you know, a melee AD assassin, you can now go straight through a minion wave and not get caught up in it. That's actually pretty legit. Edge of Night has been updated, so a kind of new item. So it's a little bit cheaper. Its AD has gone down though. Its lethality has gone down. Its health, you're getting more health from it. It's removed its Channel Knight's Veil, and you're now getting a spell shield. So this is legitimately Banshees, but for AD. John D. Money, thank you very much for the year club. Welcome, dude. Enjoy your new lion look. But yeah, so this is just a Banshees for AD melee. Well, not even melee. I guess some range might buy it, but it's an AD Banshees. So it's a spell shield that is on you permanently until it gets knocked off, and then it will like regen after 40 seconds. So you can't now as a Talon press Edge of Night when you're doing your engage and like purposely do it at the right time. It depends, you know, you're just going to have it on you every now and then, and it can get knocked off and just poke. So that's probably like, I don't know, it's a buff and a nerf at the same time. But yeah. New item, Sanguine Blade, which again, F in chat for Twisted Treeline. This item actually used to be from Twisted Treeline. Gain, but not the actual item itself, I don't think. Gain attack speed and lethality when near no one or few enemies. So we did a PBE, video of Renekton, and it was pretty apparent that this item's really good. So it's a split pushing item. So the likes of something like, I don't know how much you would want it, but like Tryndamere or something. I don't know how much you'd want lethality, but the idea that you're getting attack speed and lethality, two pretty good stats when you're by yourself, is kind of insane. So I think a lot of champions are going to use this, even if they're not known as lethality users, because it's just a lot of value. You know, it's a lot of value of getting free stats when you're alone. And you know, here, when no one or few people are not around you, you gain 8 lethality and a 40 to 100% attack speed to level 18, decaying over 3 seconds if other enemy champions get too close. So like, you can just go mental with attack speed every now and then with this item. So that's kind of crazy. So yeah, like Tryndamere, maybe Jax, maybe Aurelia, like this Zed. Obviously the AD assassins will buy it, but yeah, it does actually seem pretty good. Yeah, it's really strong on Zed, I'd imagine so. Umbral Glaive, this is new. New Blackout item. So Blackout got removed from here. So it got rid of Blackout here. So this is now the Blackout item. So the second lethality addition, a new home of the Blackout passive, which obviously is the ward thing. The stats aren't too high, but it's also the cheapest lethality item. Pick it up if you want to black out the enemy's map. That's why it's called Blackout. So it's just 2,400 gold. It gives you 50 attack damage, 12 lethality, bit of cooldown reduction. And yeah, you can basically disable wards and stuff every now and then when you walk over them. So I don't know who really is going to buy this item. Maybe if you're playing a lethality user that you have to like try to snowball, so you need a completed item in the early game is obviously pretty good value and pretty good for snowballing. So maybe that. But honestly, I don't see this being used that much. Because why would you buy that when, you know, all these other ones kind of exist? I don't know. Serrated Dirk, Headhunter removed, so your next damaging spell no longer deals. So they just got rid of that because it probably had a bit too much strength to it. So overall, lethality seems good. I think lethality might cross-pollinate with other classes, not just AD assassins. And people are saying AD carries hate this season. Why? Because they've been like the strongest role for the past couple of years. So I don't know why AD carries would hate the season. Like, if an AD assassin is supposed to go after an AD carry, and if it kills them, the AD assassin did their job, and the AD carry player either mispositioned or didn't get protected. So I don't think AD carry players have anything to complain about, like basically ever, because like AD carry and jungle are the two roles that Riot cares about the most by far. So yeah. Support items. So there is now 2 different support items, I believe. So you've now got Spell Thief and Spectral Sickle. Is that it? Oh, and Relic. So you have 3. You now can do different things, I think, within them or something like that. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not really a support player, but you can have like the Spell Thief is ability power, health, and tribute. So we'll look what tribute is. Damaging spells and attacks against air champions or buildings grants you gold and gain a charge every 10 seconds up to 3 charges. So yeah, it's kind of the same as it used to be. It's just some things are going away, like mana regen, a lot of it. And the Spectral Sickle is attack damage, health, and tribute. So your AD, like Pike and stuff like that, will be going. This one's Senna, for example. Relic Shield is your tanky health, ability power, and Spores of War. So, yeah, pretty good. Just a little bit of an update to those people. I don't think it's kind of anything crazy important, but there you go. Next up is Steel Shoulder Guard line. Oh, it's another one. Holy moly. Health, attack, damage, and Spores of War. So there's a difference. So you can go Relic Shield if you want ability power as a tank AP support, or you can go the tank attack damage support. So there's now 4 different options for supports. They've removed Ancient Coin, by the way. Callum, welcome, dude. Been playing much Pokemon? Yeah, I've been playing it quite a bit. So there you go. A lot of options for supports. Shurelya's has been changed. Grants health, health regen, heal, shield power instead of ability power, movement speed, range increased, build path updated, and cost has been decreased. So quite a lot of changes with the Shurelya's. Energize and crit items. Jesus, Storm Razor has gone up in cost. Its attack damage has been nerfed. Its crit chance has been added, so it's now giving crit, which is good. Attack damage has gone down by half. Energized item damage has gone up as well. And Energized Slow has gone down, but it's for half the amount. Well, actually, a third of the amount. So I don't know if that's a buff or nerf. It's just different, I guess. Someone's saying, what would Leona go with the support items? I think there'll just be a difference in your playstyle. Some of them will probably go the ability power version. The Relic Shield will probably, some of them go, if they're more spell reliant. I imagine the better Leonas will go the attack damage, because they'll be getting auto attacks in more. So, there you go. But yeah, Shurelya's now has a bit of a heal. Heal and shield power 10%. So this is definitely more of a supporty item. RFC, energized damage, has been kind of like, what's the right word? Leveled? Sure, it's been leveled to 120, so it's a buff in the early game and nerf in the late game. And then that's about that. It's just, again, they've changed stuff with the energized stuff. Static Shiv, same thing. They leveled it. The bounces have also gone up, so this is better for wave clear. The shard that obviously builds into other things is not, that's been a buff, but it is also more expensive. Brawler's Glove has been removed. Cloak of Agility has been buffed. Zeal has been made more expensive. The crit has gone up though. The attack speed has gone down. Phantom Dancer, the build path has changed, and that's about that. Do I see Gangplank getting Storm Razor? Possibly. Maybe. Triforce, Infinity Edge, Storm Razor. Or the other way around. Triforce, Storm Razor, Infinity Edge. Maybe. Possibly. Alright, so, removed items. Spirit Shojin, goodbye. So, a lot of people are upset about this, namely the one-tricks of the basic auto-attack champions. Well, not all of them are basic auto-attack champions. A lot of Jax players are angry about this. Which, Jax is stupid as a champion. He always has been. So I'm happy that this item's gone. Yes, I'll miss it on champions like Renekton. That isn't just like, I'm just going to auto-attack a lot. He actually has abilities to use. But overall, I think it's good the item's gone. It was way too problematic. It just made more problems than necessary, and it made champions like Jax legit basically unkillable in late game with his ultimate and E combined. It was just obnoxiously dumb. So that item is gone, but it is still available in ARAM. So there you go. Zarot Portal has also been removed, so I guess RIP if you're like a split pushing or a sieging singed player. So obviously I can't do this. The only champion I really built this on was Yorick, but whatever. It doesn't really matter at all. It wasn't used that much, and I guess it was kind of a gimmicky item anyway, so overall I don't think it, I don't think it was a bad thing at all. Omrek has been removed because no one built it. Raptor's Cloak has also been removed because there's no point having it, because that was the only thing I think it built into. I don't care about item sets. Kleptomancy, by the way, has been removed. So again, a pretty problematic rune, keystone, whatever you want to call it. Free gold and all that stuff. So Ezreal, Kayle, Gangplank occasionally. Yeah, they'll have to find something else to run. It just gave way too much value if you were a good player. So if you could play safe on something like Ezreal, the amount of value you're getting from Klepto was insanely high. You'd be making like a couple thousand gold. So yeah. Okay, there are a couple annoying people in Twitch chat today. Like, they're trying to... It's like they know everything. Shush. It's like brand new people in the stream, and it's like, ugh, trying to take over. We got a new keystone, though, that is replacing Kleptomancy. It's called Prototype Omnistone. I don't think this is great, personally. So... Oh, yeah, Alawi also took Klepto. So... Omnistone, a keystone meant to be Kleptomancy's spiritual successor, basically it gives you different keystones, which is odd. So if you take this, say, on a champion and it procs, you could just be given one of a few keystones in the game, and it will be different every now and then. So periodically gain a single use of another random keystone. Once a keystone is rolled, it can't be rolled again until only 3 options are left, at which point the table resets. Cooldown, gain a new keystone 8 to 4 seconds. So get a new keystone every 8 seconds if you're melee at level 1, or every 4 seconds when you're level 18. If you're ranged, every 12 seconds at level 1, or 8 seconds when you're level 18. It scales, obviously, after using the lost. Scaling is weighted towards later levels. Auto reroll, gain a new keystone while out of combat after 40 seconds of not using a keystone. Visibility, your current keystone shows at the top right of your health bar to all players, so they know which one you've got. Dark Harvest souls persist after you get a different keystone. So if you do get Dark Harvest and you get a few stacks when you're randomly getting the keystone, your Dark Harvest stacks will continue to ramp up even if it swaps away. So here are the ones that you can get. So obviously, if you're a champion that can't proc Aftershock, it will not give you Aftershock. For example, Ezreal, they won't give Ezreal Aftershock because he legit cannot proc it. But like these are all the stuff that you can get. So I don't think this is going to be great. Because look at the range of randomness that you can get. You're playing, like, I don't know what champion would take this. Alawi, I guess, maybe. But like, all right, Alawi with Grasp isn't terrible. Alawi with Conqueror, it's new. I just don't see who's going to take this rune. I just don't get it. Like, if you were someone that used to take, like, the only people that would potentially take this were people that used to run Kleptomancy, and the people that used to run Kleptomancy, I don't see any of them taking this. Like, what's the benefit? Why would you take this when it's random? I don't get it. Like, there's surely something, like, one of these as an individual is stronger than randomly getting one of them every now and then. So I don't really see the point in this. Conqueror has been updated, which a lot of people are also complaining about. Like we mentioned earlier, like I said earlier, that the top lane role kind of seems dead now. Rift Herald obviously got nerfed. Dragons are buffed, so top laners are never going to go to top lane. And now Conqueror got nerfed, which a lot of obviously top laners used. Sir Darts, appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much for 14 months. But yeah, so I kind of see this as a big, like, also another nerf to top laners. So the true damage has now gone. So no true damage anymore from Conqueror, which obviously was a big part of its damage shredding through tanks and stuff like that. So it now heals, at full stacks, Conqueror heals for 15% of post mitigation damage against champions, so it heals for more now. The maximum stacks is now 10, not 5. You get 2 stacks per ability, so it kind of is the same. Oh no, it's a nerf to ranged people taking Conqueror, which I don't think many people ever did. So yeah. Stack duration is now 8 seconds for melee. 8 seconds for everybody, sorry. 8 seconds for range and melee. It used to be different. And the adaptive force has gone nerfed and buffed the maximum adaptive force. So overall it's a nerf because the true damage was kind of the main point. I guess, yeah, Draven, some people are saying Draven might take it. But But overall, it is definitely a nerf because the true damage was the main thing that people liked. Obviously, the healing is nice. You know, it used to be 8% healing. It's now 15% healing. So that's not terrible, but I don't see many people running Conqueror anymore, if I'm honest. Like, PTA is probably just going to be a stronger rune to run, more or less. So there we go. Aftershock. Flat resistances decreased, percentage bonus resistance increased, flat damage decreased early, damage now scales with bonus health rather than max health, and cooldown decreased. Jesus. So, overall, a nerf to early game, but maybe a buff to late game, because it's giving more percentage bonus resists. The damage has been buffed, base damage early. Yeah, the damage has been buffed for actual Aftershock proc. Cooldown has also been buffed. It used to be 35 seconds, is now 20, so overall buff, and it bug fix. So I'd say overall a buff for Aftershock. So that, again, if you want to kind of see what's being hinted at here, Conqueror's being nerfed, which got rid of true damage against tanks, and a tank keystone is being buffed. Ta-da! Tanks are coming back. Presence of Mind increases mana or energy pool on takedown instead of refunding ult cooldown. Now restores energy in addition to mana. Okay, so that's pretty good. So now restores energy in addition. So energy unit users could take this and it will benefit them as well. So there you go. Nimbus Cloak. Cloak procs off summoner spells instead of ults. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, it no longer, when you use your ult, you get a bonus movement speed. It's only when you use your summoner. The long cooldown stuff, you get a 35% bonus movement speed after flash or teleport. A 25 movement speed, heal, ignite, cleanse, exhaust, ghost barrier. And then 15 is Hex Flash, Smite, Zoe's W, Spell Thief, and ARAM stuff. So, yeah. Don't really know why they did that, but they did, which is fair enough. Okay. Senna got some stuff removed. Not surprised. They always have to remove things from new champions. So they, yeah. So she I don't even think it's that bad. It's just getting rid of the Spell Thief thing because now she has an AD support item that we saw earlier. So that's nothing. And then what's this one? Alt mode bonus. She no longer... Oh, so it's actually no nerfs. Never mind. They haven't nerfed her yet, technically. But it's just getting rid of something because there is now a support item that she can take. And it's getting rid of something for her in ARAM. So it's not that bad. Goodbye, Twisted Tree Line. I wonder which one I've got. Black Psycho X, welcome dude, 2 months, thank you very much. So Twisted Tree Line is gone, everybody, but players that played the mode throughout the years do get an exclusive Summoner's Icon that you can never get again. I'm actually tempted before I start recording today. Does anybody know if these have these been given out yet, or have they not been given out yet? Someone let me know in Twitch chat. I would probably presume I'm over 100 on my main account. But that's the only account that I ever played 50 games, 100 games. Okay, then they're not out yet, apparently, of me recording this, so there's no point going on the main account. But yeah, I presume I played over 100 games throughout the years. I did play it occasionally, and 100 games isn't that much. So, goodbye, I guess, to the 3v3 map. I know only not many people played it, so it's not really a blow to League as such, because, you know, when I've had people say to me, it's like, oh, people are going to quit the game, and that, yeah, maybe, but that's a few thousand people in a game that has, like, over 100 million players, so it's not going to do a whole lot. So, yeah. Yeah, I played 3v3s of Kirby a lot, man. Essence Emporium is coming back November 25th, so remember, blue icon stuff is on for sale here. Also, if you are somebody that was a massive fan of one of the League partner chromas, the green chroma that we get every now and then, they do sell them in the Essence Emporium to not make them, like, completely exclusive, because people complained, apparently. I was like, my favourite colour's green and I can't get a League partner thing all the time, so I've got to complain, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I think they're 10,000 blue essence if you wanted to buy one of them. There's a bunch of bug fixes, skins, so we're getting some updates, the new skins like we mentioned, and there we go. That is preseason patch. Holy moly, dude, that was a long video, but we went through everything, not everything in crazy detail, but overall I'm pretty happy about it. I am looking forward to play today, to experience it and everything like that. Overall, I like the map changes. I like the dragon changes. I'm just not sure about the Elder Dragon. That just seems way It's just dumb to me. I'm a Soraka and kills stuff at 20%. Like, what? That's stupid. That seems cool. Top lane, rip F in chat for top lane. I won't be playing much top, apparently. Jungling, I'll be getting back into that. Lethality seems pretty good. So, I don't know. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy this really long patch note video, Primal Sting, welcome, dude. Over a year. Yeah, welcome, dude. But if you did enjoy this crazy video and you made it all the way to the end, I don't know, say pineapple or something in the comments and I'll know you made it to the end. But I'm going to go play the new map now and experience it myself. So if you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe. Let me know what your favorite thing is in this patch or what your least favorite thing is. Is it also Elder Dragon is stupid? Like, subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time.